This world, this planet, it's bat crap crazy. The things we experience, the trauma we go through. I was having a conversation with my mom last week, and it was kind of emotional. Life's a bitch. But I wouldn't say that, though, because she's Mormon and you don't swear and say that shit. You don't say shit even. Anyway, and if you followed me for a long time, you know I have TBI, traumatic brain injury, from when I was 6 years old, skull fracture. I'm sure a lot of people are like going, oh, okay, that makes sense now. Sure, fine, whatever. But my mom said something, and I've always wondered, it's like she said something to the effect that I am the way that I am because of my traumatic brain injury. And I'm thinking, are you saying that I'd be a lot better if I didn't get smacked in the skull? Or is she thinking that I would still be a member of the Mormon Church and be just like everybody else who's a sheep that follows that shit? Or was she saying that I would be happier and I would see life differently instead of being a realist and see, things as they are, as I perceive them? Can't talk right now. I walked away thinking, what the fuck was that? And maybe that's what she tells herself to feel better about me and my crazy life and my life choices and how I didn't get married and pop out tons of babies like my sibling and follow the cult-like mentality of the Mormon Church. But then something interesting happened at work today when I was going to pick up a vehicle to bring it back to the tire shop to put new tires on it, whatever. And the owner of this, car place, whatever. It's called a dealership. It's late. Give me a break. And I know the guy. He's, colorful. He's like, are you ever going to get married? And which I thought was weird, but then again, it's Idaho, so, and I was like, fuck no. What are you talking about? And again, he's an interesting dude, and we've got a weird repertoire, you want to call it, back and forth. But he basically says, there's this podcast, YouTube channel, you should be on it, blah, blah, but you have to audition. And I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, no, they'll, they would interview you. He's like, you should tell your story. You should tell your story. And I'm like, which story are we talking about? I don't think he knows about the, traumatic brain injury. I know he knows that my family is, Mormon. Or is it my story of being the only woman in a tire shop forever? What story? So I go to this YouTube, and I can't remember what it's called, but I'm sure a lot of you have heard it, and I start watching some shorts, because there's tons of videos of this guy who interviews a lot of people who have been through some shit. Some addictions, some SA, just, people who've had a rough go of it in life. And as I'm watching these shorts, I'm thinking, should I be offended that he told me I should be on this? When you're just going through life and you're not really thinking much about how people perceive you, even though, I guess because I'm just so used to people perceiving me in a certain way, and I don't give two shits either way, so I just, don't let it doesn't cross my mind. But now, today, I'm just thinking, what the fuck? He said he'd help me with the audition thing, by the way, which I'm not gonna push. I'm not gonna be like, hey, let's set up a time to get together to do this. I really don't care. If this never happens, I don't care. But it's just, it's been in my brain along with mommy's comment, and just, maybe it's just time to disappear and go be one with nature, find a puppy to focus my attention on and give it a good home and get away from the perceptions. Maybe.